Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new season, Season 3 of Knights of Eveningstar. I'm your Dungeon Master, Mark SherlockHulmes. You might know me from my show High Rollers, various other little things that I've done on the internet, and I'm joined by 4 exceptional players who have joined me for 2 seasons so far. I'm joined by Mica Burton, Anna Prosser, Nate Sharp, and Jonathan Indovino, aka ShadyPenguinn. Welcome, friends. Welcome to a brand new season. We had a very sort of a bit of an extended season 2, wrapping out some big epic dungeon stuff that went on. But now we're here with a fresh new start. How is everyone?
Great. Ready to roll some dice. Feeling good.
Let's do it.
Everybody's ready. Couple of quick things before we get started. First of all, a big thank you to all of you guys out there, all of you for watching. Thanks to you guys, we got renewed for Season 2 and we're back for Season 3. And it really is just because you guys support the show and watch it and talk about it and tell wizards that you really enjoy it. So please keep that up. Keep telling them how much you enjoy the show. Tell your friends to come and watch it. But also just a big thank you from us for doing that. That's really awesome. The other one is this season's going to be featuring content from Candlekeep Mysteries, which if you've not checked out yet is a collection of all different adventures based on books within the library of Candlekeep, one of which I wrote, and that's the one we're going to be playing in this session. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be checking out my adventure. It's called The Price of Beauty. You can read it if you want to try and spoil yourself, but I will be making some changes. I will be making some changes to it because these guys need to have some little wild cards thrown in there. And then the last thing to mention, and we'll do a quick roundup going around with everybody. It'd probably be a good idea to have everybody do a reminder of who you are. But also, one thing I forgot to mention at the end of Season 2 was you guys level up. So we are now all level 10. And team are all level 10. And yeah, if we just do a really quick kind of like who you are, well, what who your character is, and then what changes or cool things you've got from level 10. And we will start because I know he's so excited about it. We'll start with Mr. Nate. Who are you? What are you playing, Nate? And tell us about your new level.
So I'm playing Clyve of the Wildmane. He is a Leonin barbarian, wild magic man, and so every time he rages, there's a random magic effect. And now at level 10, when I take damage or fail a save while raging, I get to consult that table and roll again. So I am a lion that's going to be shooting lasers all the time.
And it's just going to be different crazy effects going off pretty much every round if it's whenever you take damage, because I'm pretty sure Clyve takes damage every round. So it's going to be like all sorts of nonsense going on. Nice.
Clyve is so stoked to get hurt now.
And lots of hit points, a big max hit point roll as well. So lots of HPs. Anna, tell us about you and your level up.
I play Agnis Crownsilver, who is a noble wood elf, who is a Circle of Wildfire druid. So I like to set things on fire, even though sometimes that doesn't go super well for me. But the only thing that changes other than HP for Agnis is I now have Cauterizing Flame, which means I can use dead creatures to either do more damage to other people or bring health to them. So basically, if someone dies, I can set them on fire, and then you guys can warm yourselves by the fire and get a ton of HP.
Love that.
Or you can do more damage as well.
Right, exactly. I could set up basically like corpse landmines, I guess.
Nice.
I'm not
Terrifying.
sure quite yet how Agnes feels about this, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we can always reflavor abilities in certain ways and things like that. So
what more honorable way to treat a corpse than to send it back to the earth with cauterizing flames?
Yeah, exactly.
And explode them in precarious places.
Yeah. To heal your friends with their ashes. I don't know. Don't quite know how it works, but it does.
It's the circle of life, Mark.
There it is.
The circle. Anyway, before we get copyright struck, Shady, who are you playing? Tell us about your level.
I'm playing Tarkhal Crownsilver, who was a once woodsman rogue, now an adopted noble, essentially, and has been working alongside all of the nobles and advisors to lead Eveningstar. At level 9 rogue, because I'm warlock and rogue, but I decided to go and level up rogue at the end of last season. I gained infiltration expertise, which I did not know was a thing until now. And Tarkhal has very big plans for this. But essentially, I spend 25 gold in a week, and I can unfailingly make basically a disguise, false identity for myself.
Whoa.
And I fool everyone until they have reason to believe otherwise.
Very, very
That's
cool.
very
Very
cool.
assassin.
Yes.
Very assassin. I love it. Fantastic. And then last but certainly by no means least, Mica Burton.
Hi, I play Azara Mithras. She is a level 7 sorcerer and level 3 cleric. We've put the new level into cleric. She is of the blue-blooded dragon sorcerer variety, which means she likes lightning, and she is a tempest cleric, and she prays to the elven winged god Airdrie Peña, which means that she now has a spiritual weapon, which is very exciting. The whole
Spells
reason
always good.
I put a level into cleric is because I wanted a spiritual weapon, and I'm not going to spoil what it looks like, but I'm very excited about it, and it's very nerdy.
Very cool. And yeah, Tempest Cleric and Storm Sorcerer, or like lightning-based sorcerer, go very well together, as we found out in season 2, the end of season 2, where
sure
Azara
do.
is pumping out like 60 damage guaranteed, which
know, when
is
you
very
can
fun to see.
Max a lightning level, but then being a lightning dragon, you get extra lightning damage.
Extra lightning damage on top.
Super nice.
Very, very good. Yeah, perfect. Well, that's everybody leveled up, everybody kind of thing. We'll do a quick recap of things that happened. There is going to be a little bit of a kind of quickly summing things up and traveling back to Eveningstar just to kind of kick new things off. But apart from that, is everybody ready to roll some dice and play some Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do have a quick housekeeping question.
Yes, by all means.
Should I do that
Now is the
before or
time.
after?
Do that now.
Okay. We got things at the end of the dungeon, and I'm dumb and forgot to write them down. I know we got armor and
I
jewels
certainly
and
hope
stuff.
somebody wrote them down.
No.
I certainly hope someone did, because otherwise they'd left behind in the ruins.
No, we took
Dissolved
them.
into the Shadowfell.
What if I go back and watch the episode and then write it down?
How about this, Mica
I
Burton?
totally
If by,
wrote it down, so I'll tell you next week.
Yeah, but if by next week
Okay.
it's written in your notes, then maybe. So
Okay.
you know, teacher will check the homework next week to
Sounds
see
good.
if it's done.
And then has it been a month since we've been gone?
No.
Okay, cool.
No, it has been a couple of days, as we will get to.
Okay.
All right. So, last time on Knights of Eveningstar in season 2, Agnis and Tarkhal Crownsilver, Azara Mithras, and Clyve of the Wildmane investigated an old Cormyrian castle in the Tempest Valley in search of a family relic for Lady Vanifer Braywinter. The journey took unexpected turns when the castle was clearly enshrouded in a mysterious magical darkness. After meeting Lady Cecilia Braywinter, a mage who had saved herself by trapping her soul in a gemstone, and learning about Castle Braywinter's misfortune, the party traveled into the Shadowfell, a plane of death and dismay, in order to finish her work, an enchanted lantern, the very same that Lady Vanifer had sent them to find. A weapon designed to stop Cecilia's brother, Raedrin Braywinter, who sought to use the Shadowfell's energy for themselves. After meeting with the Raven Queen and helping a camp of forlorn angels, the party faced off against Raedrin, who had partially transformed himself into a shadow dragon. With the relic, the Dark Light, in hand, and the party's own abilities, they overcame the threat. And now they return to Eveningstar after a much, much harrowing experience than intended, and are in need of a well-deserved rest. And we will have you guys simply arrive. There are no encounters on the way back. Castle Braywinter, once the shadows and the power of the Shadowfell was destroyed by Raedrin, the castle took on simply an air of abandonment, of emptiness, of stillness. The spirits, the undead, seemingly vanished with the destruction of Raedrin and the Shadowfell portals. No longer any gateways that remain in place. It simply became an old, cold ruin.
What about
Shroud? I was going to say, there are two things that I'm certain you would not leave behind. One was a certain magical quiver that you were promised by the two elven ghosts, the two ghosts that you had encountered early on, which turns out to be I'm trying to remember the name of this. It's like Elhona's quiver or something like that. I need to look up the actual magic item name, but it's a magical quiver that allows you to store...
Sorry.
Go.
Does anyone use a bow and arrow except me?
Nope.
Ha! I'll take it.
So if you check it out, I'll try and find it, Anna, and I'll give you the full name, but I believe it's like called Elhona's quiver or something like that.
Okay.
look at that. The other one is, yes, Shroud, who is a partially ethereal horse. Seems to be the only creature that did not vanish away when the castle was destroyed. Perhaps because they were on the cusp, on the outskirts of the castle itself, but they still remain in place. And I would assume that you would lead such a fine and magical beast back to Eveningstar.
Of course.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Does
Shroud still look the same?
Yes, although you would notice that the etherealness is perhaps not as pronounced. It looks like this is maybe an ability that can be done less now, but still has some element of etherealness to them. In the right light, they would perhaps appear as just a very dark black stallion horse. When light is properly shone on them, you can see it passes through, and they're actually kind of partially transparent. But in say shadows or in dim light, they would just appear as a dark and mysterious looking horse.
Is it he? Can he be ridden?
Yes. Yeah. He'll let Agnis ride him because Agnis was the one who sort of befriended him before, but certainly does not seem keen on allowing strangers or others approach. He's quite wary of others around. Are there any other questions before we travel back to Eveningstar, or things that you would like to do on the return journey or after Radron's defeated? We kind of had to rush things to an end at the end of the last episode because of big epic combats. So now is the time.
We still have Cecilia in a crystal, right?
You do, yes. In your bags, in fact, Azara,
Right.
you still have the homunculus Gizzit, who clutches a little notebook and a small gemstone, as well as the skull, the last piece of remains for Lady Cecilia.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Clyve or Tarkhal?
I think the only thing I would do is if I see Agnis get that quiver, the special quiver, it'll bring a light bulb to my head, and I'll approach her, I guess, and just be like, oh, sister, I've been meaning to give this to you because I haven't used it once, and I feel like you would make much better use of it. And I want to give her the guiding light, the bow that I have, the Galathaler.
Whoa.
Galathea.
Galathea.
Yeah.
So she can have that and it can leave my inventory.
Yeah, it's a custom item, so you should be able to search for it, because I think Shady's got it. And the quiver is called the Quiver of Elhona. This version is actually technically a Quiver of Miliki, which is a goddess, a unicorn goddess. It is emblazoned with a Miliki's holy symbol on it. But it is the same thing as a Quiver of Elhona. Ehlonna.
Seeing that, I think since this sword hates Azara,
swapping all these items around.
Yeah, she's gonna walk up to Clyve and kind of hand it out and say, "I don't like martial weapons."
Just take it. How does it look compared to my Morningstar?
Well, I won't make any judgments for Clyve's taste in aesthetics. I would say, so the way it was described is it is a very finely made longsword. It's clearly made with expert craftsmanship. The hilt is in the style of a black dragon. So the pommel is like the black dragon's head with a pair of rubies for eyes. It's all black, like lacquered. The guard is like a pair of grasping claws that have been shaped around. There's like dark runes etched into the blade that give it its name, which I believe is Ebonscorn? Yeah, Ebonscorn. Whether Clyve likes that or not, I will say that as Azara, like, it is a +1 weapon. It is a +1 longsword. There may be other elements to it, but certainly what has been identified is that it is a magical longsword +1.
I'll hold on to it.
Sure. It does require attunement if you wish to fully attune to it and gain its benefits.
Sure. Let's do that on the way back.
I can't remember. I don't think because I think Azara hadn't fully attuned to it, so I don't think I'd put the stats into D&D Beyond yet. I will do that though for next time. But for now, you just need to know it's a +1 longsword.
Cool.
That's all you need to know. Cool. All right.
Agnis is kind of like patting her bags, like I really feel like I should kind of return the favor, but she's like looking. She doesn't have any weapon that would make sense for Tarkhal, and she's like, "I owe you one."
That's fine.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Anything from anyone else? Otherwise, we will just have you guys arrive back in Eveningstar.
I do have one thing. The dark light. Cecilia gave it to me just because of our bond where she kept possessing my body, right?
Yeah, you don't have to keep it.
I think that, like, as we're traveling back, Agnis would offer it to Azara and be like, I really think you might be able to make better use of this. And honestly, I kind of feel like we only found it because of all of your scholarship. So do you want it?
I wouldn't mind it, but Lady Cecilia did trust you with it, and you held your own in battle. So.
Really? You think so?
I do.
Thanks.
So why don't you hold on to it, and if it needs to be researched or anything else, I'll take it from there.
Deal.
Okay. The journey back to Eveningstar is uneventful. It took you about a day and a half to reach the Tempest Valley. It takes you about a day and a half to travel back. The roads, nothing seems out of the ordinary. You do not come back to fires or cries of alarm or any signs of danger. You return to smiling faces of the people of Eveningstar, people beginning to just, prepare their farms for the summer, making sure that everything is good to go. A few grazing animals out onto the grassy plains, people beginning to prepare wares to trade in the big cities. But everything so far seems to be as you left it. When you do return to Starwatch Keep, the keep that overlooks Eveningstar from on high across the river, there are your seneschal, Dusk, a purple tiefling with one broken horn, and no longer pretending to limp. He does not bother carrying his cane or any such thing anymore. He just kind of walks about as normal, is waiting for you when the kind of guards give word that you are on your way back. Elissa, your knight captain, your blade captain, is also waiting. They, offer you proper, appropriate responses and greetings. Elissa with a firm salute to her lord and nobles, whereas Dusk offers a deep bow. Welcome back, my lords and ladies. I'm pleased to see that you have returned to us, and hopefully things went well on your little endeavor.
I wouldn't call it a little endeavor, but I would say it went well.
Oh, my apologies, my lady. From our last discussions, you thought that it would be but a brief moment to nip in and find this heirloom. I take it there was perhaps more to it then.
Well, if you call talking to the Raven Queen and going into another plane more to it, then yes, there was more to it.
Elissa looks shocked. Dusk doesn't. Dusk, I certainly would call that more to it, Magister. Well, you'll be. I have food and beds. We can have those prepared for you in a moment if you need to rest. But we can have meal and everything else. Lady Agnis, there is a letter and a package for you. It arrived just this morning, in fact. But the rest of you, I'm afraid I have no news. Lady Captain, my apologies. Captain Elissa does have a brief military report. But apart from that, there is no real news apart from this package that arrived to share with you. Things have been progressing well.
Agnis is like cartoonishly looking at Azara and how Azara is reacting to Elissa. Like, Captain Elissa, we would love that report right now.
Of course, yes, of course, your ladyship. I think that perhaps Mr. Wildmane, Mr. Clyve? Clyve? What do you prefer?
Clyve of the Wildmane.
Then I believe that Clyve of the Wildmane, I would appreciate your input and suggestions on this as well. We are no longer, our previous commander, if you will, is no longer here. I do not have many people to discuss strategy with.
I've had lots of them.
She smiles. Yes, the weak one. It seems that, do you remember before you departed for this endeavor, this request that you had, my scouts had found that there was a strange floating tower in the mountains to the northeast, and there was a large group of orcs who appeared to be trying to build their way up to it. my scouts came back with a following report shortly after you left. It seems that the orcs have stopped they've stopped whatever construction they were attempting. They seem to be involved in some sort of ritual, or perhaps some sort of religious ceremony or celebration of some sorts. But it does give us a bit of time, it seems. They are no longer constructing this device to reach this floating tower, which I believe is good news for us. It does give us a moment's respite, a brief moment of time. But that is still a concern that we must be aware of. I am also, I have a team ready to head towards the mine that our stonemason offered. I believe that they should be more than capable to take care of whatever may lurk within the shadows of the mine. I just need your approval to send them onwards.
Tarkhal will like nod, but then he'll look at Agnis to make sure. Like
Agnis is already looking at Tarkhal, and then we'll look at Azara.
Azara will kind of like give the like, yeah, go ahead.
That sounds good, Dusk.
This is Alyssa. This is Alyssa. I know my voice always sounds the same. But this is Alyssa.
That sounds good, Alyssa.
That's fine. I wish I could sound like a cool female orc, but I can't. But Alyssa will look at Azara and Clyve, especially this matter of the floating tower. I'm slipping into Dusk because you've said it now, Shady. This matter of the floating tower. It's because you said it, and now it's stuck in my brain. This matter of the floating tower. Magister Azara, if you have the time, it would be useful to see if there is anything you know of, or if we have any records. This obviously seems magical in nature. And also, Miss Clyve of the Wildmane, have you encountered orcs much? Do you know much of their military matters or such, or best ways to combat them if they choose to become aggressive?
Let's roll to find out.
I love that.
Apparently, I know lots of them.
Well, then I would appreciate... perhaps we can discuss it over some strategy meetings. We can have a discussion on your preferred tactics and methodologies.
Well, I will say, assume that the tactics go in swinging.
Right. Well, perhaps just some accounts of your previous battles with them.
Right.
That will give us.
I'll tell you about the one time I went in swinging, and then they died.
Alyssa looks at Azara with just a "why do I bother" expression. Well, thank you very much for your time. I will have the team dispatched to the mines, and we will continue monitoring the tower to the north. Until then, there is not really much else to report. We've not had any cat attacks, or there's not been much news of banditry or the like on the high road. It seems that things are peaceful for at least a moment.
Before Alyssa turns to go away, Azara will go, Blade
Yes,
Captain,
Master.
if you would like to discuss the magical properties of such floating towers, possibly over tea later this evening, after I've unpacked, I will be free.
She kind of brushes like her long dark hair, and it's like, yes, that seems a very suitable use of our time, Magister. Awkward shifting apart.
That's cute. It is.
You can see Dusk is also is smiling, like kind of smirking to himself. Not to interrupt things, Lady Agnis, I have your package in your in the keep as well. And yes, a dinner. I will have Nigel and the team get a meal suitable for you. But come, you are home now, and it's time to relax and take the weight of the world off of your shoulders. And he will make his way back into the keep as well.
I'll go looking for that package.
Clyve is very much welcomed. You've got your fellows nearby.
Yeah, I'd want to check in with them.
Sure. God, I need to remember their names. It's like been so long. We were in the Shadowfell for so long.
We were in the Shadowfell for so long.
I've got them here. Baragon and Erez. That's it. I've got them in my big master sheet. Right. Okay. So what does everyone want to do individually? So Agnis obviously is going to go check out this package, but does anybody else have any other plans or things that they would like to do? Azara, straight up with a hand up, Mica. It's great. I love it.
I would probably take the crystal to Sarah Lee. God, we've been in the Shadowfell for so long. I take the crystal and the homunculus up to the tower and kind of brief Sarah Lee on what happened and everything that we went through, and kind of ask her to start researching restoration magic or like any probably forbidden spells to resurrect the dead.
Yeah, I think like Sarah Lee, I won't role play the full thing because I want to grab to get to some other stuff, but I mean, Sarah Lee will say, you know, resurrection magic isn't forbidden.
Cool.
You know, things like necromancy are frowned upon because that's raising them as undead creatures. But things like miracle, you know, bringing the dead back to life is certainly possible. And if this, and she says, if this is a powerful mage of, you know, 500 years ago, it's highly likely that the Queen Raedra, would want to know about it, and she would be in a position to have a priest or somebody who can probably perform that sort of miracle. Because that sort of thing is very rare. To bring back somebody who died so long ago takes exceptionally powerful magic. But if anybody can find that, the Queen is somebody who has access to those resources.
Then I would spend the rest of the time probably like before dinner crafting a very political yet kind message, informing her that we found the Cecilia, and you know, not so much saying favor for a favor, but just saying, you know, we went through much trouble to get this.
Well, I think, yeah, you can kind of angle it as this Lady Cecilia has knowledge of our history firsthand, you know, very powerful, blah, blah, blah. The town of Eveningstar would be grateful for any donations or support that you could offer us in exchange for, you know, just recovering this. Yeah, exactly.
In her very Azara way.
Yeah, it's a very perfect Azara thing to do. Cool. All right. Tarkhal or Clyve, anything while that's going on?
Tarkhal would just want to visit. We've been in the Shadowfell for so long. Shrooms. Hulda. Would want to visit Hulda, and actually is just asking if there's anything that she can give me to cleanse the memories of the Shadowfell almost. You know, like I have a lingering, you know, that traumatic moment. Just seeing if there's anything.
Yeah, I think that, you know, again, I don't want to role play it too much because we get on with stuff, but I think that Hulda, you know, for the first time, Hulda's normally, you know, they're a very sort of easygoing, like, oh yes, and they don't take things, but they're kind of, they're worried, you know, when you go and tell them about this. They tell you that they don't have anything to hand, but they will certainly start looking into it. They can probably give you some aid for sleep, but I think that they would say to you that you need rest. You need time to process that everything that's gone on. You need a chance to unwind. And maybe there may be others out there who can help you. And Hulda will definitely do their best. They will try and find some sort of cure, but for the time being, rest, good, you know, keep your sister close, keep your friends close. Don't be alone, you know, as much as possible. Like, you know, general sort of like advice, and they promise to help you as soon as they can, but they don't have any like potions or mixtures or anything like that to immediately aid you.
Okay, cool.
But there's worry there.
And then they come back with black tar heroin, and they say, "This will cure all your woes.
This will be fine." Spoiler alert: it won't. Clyve. Baragon and Erez have been enjoying themselves immensely. Erez not so much. Erez doesn't enjoy anything. She is the kind of hunter prowler. She's probably been like hunting wildlife in the woods and has been keeping up a very healthy stock of fresh deer and things like that, and boars and stuff from the forest. Baragon has been having a wonderful time with the various soldiers and people in amongst the town, just living the high life, and he's become quite a beloved figure around the town in the last couple of days.
Nice.
Anything you wanted to do in specifically apart from just catch up with those guys?
No, I think that'd be it. Just catching up, seeing
how things are going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Erez, I think the one thing that Erez does say is that she would probably, because you're here to kind of evaluate the nobles of Eveningstar, Baragon will kind of tell you that the people love the Crownsilvers. They love the Crownsilvers. They love Magister Azara. They've done wonders for the town. It's, they're very popular here. And so they have like the respect and love of the people. Erez will tell you that militarily, martially, the town is at great risk. There's no, the keep is well defended, but the village has no walls. The people here don't know how to fight. This place, if it were attacked, would be a prime target. This is the kind of place that she would ransack for supplies if she were an enemy coming here to attack it. She kind of gives you more of a tactical assessment.
Definitely just assume that.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Agnis, when you head up into your room in Starwatch Keep, delicately laid out on the table for you, still wrapped up, is a large package wrapped up in a kind of linens with ropes. There are ornate silks in the Crownsilver colors, blue and silver, but with a little ribbon of orange kind of woven in between it all as well. And the Crownsilver seal is stamped on the letter and on the package wrapping as well. Very delicately written. I would say that Agnis would recognize that this immediately is the handiwork of your father. Your mother is not the careful, beautifully packaging things type. She would be much more pragmatic and worldly. Your father is the artiste and is very much the sort of, does things very properly and very carefully type. And this very much rings true of his sort of thing.
Agnes will kind of shake her head at the unnecessary cost and luxury, but also smile in appreciation of the care that her dad artistically puts into these things. And she'll open the letter first. Yeah.
The other thing is the orange ribbon must be something that he's purposely done specifically for Agnis, because the Crownsilver colors are blue and silver. They wouldn't normally include like an accent like that. So he's very much tailored it, for Agnis.
That definitely brings a smile.
The letter reads, "My daughter, I hope you are well in your new position and your lands are prospering. I know you feel the role of nobility is unnecessary," italicized, underlined. "But I hope that your new position will show you why the nobility of Cormyr still stands after the centuries. Whilst nobility and leadership may have their benefits, they have their burdens too. Heavy is the head that wears a crown. Still, I did not write to debate the nature of your position or status. After hearing about your recent endeavors in Arabelle and your success with Eveningstar, I specifically wanted to write and ensure you are looking after yourself, both in body and in mind. Not only is it important for yourself, but for those around you and under your care as well. If you are under stress, if your body is unwell, you may fail in your responsibilities. In addition, leadership requires creativity, and creativity cannot flourish without well-being. As such, I have included a rare book from the Crown's library that should help you and Tarkhal look and feel your best, as fitting as Crownsilvers. It was quite popular amongst the lords and ladies a century ago, but I believe it should still be of great use. Be well, make us proud. Father."
That's a smart guy. The whole
he's a scholar.
Self-care.
Yeah, he's like a scholar and an artist and a sculptor. He's very in touch with like himself and his feelings. He's very arrogant and very noble as well. He's an elf in this artistic nature. But yeah, he's a smart fella. Your mother is definitely the brawn and the adventurous one out of the two.
So there's an alternating Agnes sees the truth in this, but a lot of the look your best, play the part. She's rolling her eyes but she will take the little orange ribbon and kind of affix it to her belt in a cute little decorative way. And then she'll take the book to Tarkhal.
Well, when you unwrap the book itself, when you see it, is very noticeable. When you undo the packaging and you open up the book itself is quite a large, thick tome, but it's beautifully engraved and covered. It's like a green leather surrounded with gold embossings and filigree. But most striking is in the very middle of the front cover of this ornate green and gold book is a mirror. It's like an oval mirror set into the front of the book, and it's decorated in a way that the frame looks like hair spilling down around the face, almost like you were looking into a portrait of a person with long hair's face. And it says on the spine in very elegant elvish script, "The price of beauty."
Agnes will hold it up and like make a face in the mirror.
Okay, when you do that, you see your face appears, but then it kind of swirls and shifts, and your face becomes the face of a you can't tell specifically a race, but a very fair-skinned woman with red hair, kind of like fiery red hair, similar to yours but different. And as it appears, she looks back at you, and the mirror speaks to you. "Well met, dearest one. How are we feeling today?"
Agnes will kind of like turn over the book and look at the back, shake it a little bit.
The book. Doesn't seem to be, nothing happens to the woman's face, but is something wrong?
Well, books don't normally talk to me.
I was created in order to aid those who wish to improve themselves or relax and find peace, to love themselves and the others around them.
What's your name?
I don't have a name.
Everyone should have a name.
I was created to aid those in loving themselves and those around them, to make them feel and look their best.
Bear spine ship large noodle.
I'm sorry, dear. I didn't understand what you just said.
I didn't think so. She'll just tuck it under her arm and
yeah,
go...
the face, as soon as it pulls it away from yours, the face disappears.
She thinks this is pretty funny. So she's going to take it, and her goal is to like huddle with Azara first to be like, look at this book, lol, and what is it? But then also to show it to Tarkhal and be like, see, this is the idiotic stuff that noble families think is important. But she's just gonna kind of tromping and giggling to herself as she carries this book, like back to the main hall, assuming everyone's gonna come for dinner eventually.
Yeah, I think that like certainly the meal is a great chance to kind of get everybody together. You kind of bring it down.
If she sees Clyve first, she'll just hold the mirror up to his face to see what happens.
Okay, yeah. Well, should we say then that like basically everybody kind of reconvenes at dinner time, and that's like, when Agnes comes downstairs after kind of playing with the book, you come downstairs and everybody's kind of there. It's probably going to make things easier. So yeah, like you come in and you can see Baragon, Erez, Clyve are all sat down. Dusk, Nigel are there kind of plating up everything for the food. Blade Captain Alyssa is there. Azara probably with Captain Alyssa probably just had your tea and now are coming in for the meal. And then Tarkhal is coming from Eveningstar from Hulders. And so yeah, you kind of come down and everybody's kind of getting ready and in position for the evening meal. To everybody else, Agnes looks, I'm guessing, giddy and like giggling and laughing to herself as she comes in.
Yeah, she's just gonna kind of like hold it at Clyve's face to see what happens.
Okay. So yeah, Clyve, Agnes points this book in your direction. You see a mirror. You see briefly your own face, and then it shifts to this red-haired woman. "Well met, dearest one. How are you feeling today?"
"Oh, I'm doing all right. And how about yourself?"
"I am so pleased to hear that you are feeling well. Is there anything that I can do? Would you like to see how you would look with a different haircut?"
"Oh, no need. Can't change perfection, lass."
"I'm so happy to hear that. Loving yourself is an important step in loving life." And then the woman fades. The woman fades from the book, seemingly happy with Clyve's answer.
I think Azara would have heard this from across the
You all
table.
like everybody's like
Yeah.
looking at this exchange.
After
Clyve
this
is,
happens,
like,
Agnes
not the least-
specifically holds it up at Azara like,
Azara will immediately cast Detect Magic.
Clyve was like
yeah.
not the least bit phased or whatever. Like
Yeah,
the
tell you about
conversation
whatever.
ended. He's just like, all
Well,
right.
also, I think because Clyve comes from the Feywild, this kind of book, yeah, like all the Fey have stuff like this. This is no big deal. Like, yeah, I think that's totally like, you know, he's seen stuff like this before,
Right.
and also Clive's Clyve. He thinks he's amazing, right? Yes. So, Azara, you cast Detect Magic, and sure enough, yeah, this book very heavily enchanted.
Enchanted.
It's enchanted with illusion and enchantment magic.
Uh,
And this is
I
just the
know-
front cover, by the way.
right.
So far, Agnes hasn't opened the book. This is just the front cover.
Have I encountered anything like this?
Huh?
Have I encountered anything like this? Like what I know about talking books or...
I mean, talking books, there's always stories about
Right.
wizard spell books enchanted to talk and, you know, people's spirits being bound in them and that sort of thing. You know that there is the Great Library of Candlekeep that has many kind of fantastic books with all sorts of magical enchantments and effects. Normally, those books are kept under lock and key in Candlekeep over in the Sword Coast, but it's not unheard of for such things to make their way into Cormyr or to other lands.
Sensing that this is a pretty harmless book, just a enchantment illusion, Azara will kind of smile and be like, did your dad send you a self-help book?
it seems so. He said some things that made sense. You know, you must take care of yourself in order to take care of others. Certainly, yes. But he said this was a very popular book even a century ago among nobles. And what that tells me is that it's probably completely outdated.
Well, have you tried a new hairstyle?
Agnes holds it up to her face.
Well met, dearest one. How can I help you today?
What does Azara's hair look like again? Is it blue?
It's like a silvery blue.
What would I look like with that hair? She turns it toward Azara.
A fabulous color and design. I don't believe it would match your shades. You are more of a warm tone, my dear. But we can certainly try it. And the image reverts back to your face, Agnes, and the hair shimmers to change to match Azara's. It would look as you imagine it to look, Agnes with Azara's hair. It probably doesn't quite match. You know, it is kind of warm tones and cool tones, you know, merging. But yeah, it's up to you whether you like it or not.
Well, what would look good on my warm tones?
Oh, a wonderful burnished golden highlight, perhaps, and then it shimmers. It goes back to your red, but now with streaks of almost golden hair and braids kind of flowing through it. Or perhaps something more of a natural brown, and it shimmers once again, keeping the same sort of style, but just changing the colors and things like that.
What about
How does this make you feel?
Unsure.
Well, that is why I am here, my dear, to help you explore all these options. But of course, if you do wish to make any changes, just let me know.
What about my nose?
Do you not like your nose?
Should I?
You should love yourself no matter how you look, but we can always change things to make you feel that way, make you enjoy the way you look more.
I gotta think about this.
Is there anyone else who would like my advice?
Oh, I want to try something.
I handed to Clyve.
Can
Met, dearest one. How can I help you today?
Can you make me look like a fish?
I'm afraid that my illusions do not allow me to make you look like an entirely different person. I can only make you look a better version of yourself.
I'm bored.
But isn't there a creature called a catfish?
He has a point.
The book doesn't seem to register.
Azara will take it and open it up.
Oh yeah, it's
Just
a book. It has stuff
to
inside.
like just to the middle.
Yeah. You open it up and flicking through just a couple of pages. This is a beautiful book, Azara. This is every page is filled with these beautiful hand-drawn illustrations of different outfit combinations, advice on color matching with skin tones and hairstyles, jewelry to accent your eyes. Like it's advice, and even though it's clearly old, it's all timeless. It's all stuff that like is just really great basics to build things around, and it almost future proofs itself. It says even as styles change, think about this, think about this, think about that. Obviously Mark Hulmes doesn't know a lot of this stuff. I had to do a lot of research when writing this adventure, and it only goes so far. But it's not just things like dresses and clothes and makeup. You know, there's recipes for perfumes, there's recipes for ointments, skincare, there's even meditations, prayers. And you realize that this is actually all dedicated to the goddess Suni, who's the goddess of love and beauty. But it's done in a way that non-followers can also get advice and guidance on. Basically, it's kind of a live, laugh, love mixed in with like a beauty, skincare, and feel good book, right? Like it's all about kind of, you know, empowering yourself and making yourself feel better.
Azara's kind of enthralled with this book because this is like right up her really superficial side of her alley, and she's just like, Agnis, this book,
Agnis is like trying to pretend like it's so stupid, but she's very clearly watching every page that Azara is flipping and like paying close attention. She's like, I mean, so superficial, but like, ooh, that, like, hold on, flip that one.
And Azara's like, right, like, isn't that incredible? Could you imagine?
Alyssa looks confused. Dusk, looking over your shoulder, is just like, oh, very suitable advice. And he seems to be sort of like, yes, I agree. I'm glad that they've included sections on gentleman's fabric. I do like that waistcoat. And he's like, you know, making comments kind of over your shoulders. The last thing, so there is, like I said, there's also techniques for massage, healings, all sorts of things like that. But at the very last page, there's an inscription by the author, it seems. The author is somebody called Silvari Silversong. And the inscription is written in Elvish, and it reads, "A mirror is a gateway to happiness, truth, and to accepting ourselves." I think probably Alyssa looks at Tarkhal, makes a face like, just starts piling up her plate with food and things like that.
Yeah, Tarkhal honestly probably has already started eating as always, because I don't think Tarkhal even understands that this came from where it came from.
Yeah.
Agnes's father.
Agnis meant to show it to Tarkhal first to be like, look what ridiculous like expectations are put on nobles. It's so dumb. But then she got distracted by playing with it, and now is completely enthralled with the advice inside the book, even though she's trying to pretend that she's not.
After reading that inscription, I think Azara would close the book again and hold it up because she didn't get to see herself with something new.
Well met, dearest one. How may I help you today? How are you feeling?
You know, I could be better.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is there a way that I can help?
What would I look like with golden eyes?
The illusion changes and shows yourself with golden eyes.
And Azara's like, oh, I wish I could keep these. They're so beautiful. And she's just kind of like primping and prepping.
Well, if permanent changes you wish to make, there is a way. I can always open the way to the Temple of the Restful Lily for you.
Azara will kind of like shift the book and look at Agnis, like, Agnis, where did you say you got this?
From my dad.
Shift it back.
Well met, dearest one. How are you feeling today?
Temple of the, what did you say it was?
I'm sorry, I don't understand what you just said. How are you feeling today?
Oh, right. Yes, I'm feeling fine. Can I have golden eyes, please? Just kind of like wants to get back to the information.
Changes to show you with golden eyes.
And if I wanted to make this permanent?
If you wish to make any permanent changes, or you need rest or relaxation, I can always open the way to the Temple of the Restful Lily. Silvari will take good care of you.
Wait. Is this just an advanced marketing technique? Are we just getting, like, fish to some sort of spa?
Azara will ask, and how much does this cost?
The services of the temple vary depending on what you wish, but access to it is free of charge.
Azara will, like, look at Agnis.
Seems like a waste of time, don't you think?
I mean, it could be funny, you know, like we could just go for the story.
What do you think if we were meant they cared about how we look, we'd be able to see ourselves without the help of a mirror.
But Clyve, they also
Thank
said
God.
it's for mental and physical restoration. What if there's training and fighting and hunting, if that is what your heart desires? And Azara kind of like looks at Agnes like, help me out here.
Yeah.
I want a spot, eh?
I want to grab the
warriors-
book at that and look at the mirror.
Yeah. Well met, dearest one. How are you feeling today?
Right, fine. This, what's the temple of something rather?
I'm sorry, I don't understand what you just said. How are
Clyve, you have
feeling
to
today?
ask for a makeover first.
Show me what I would look like with an ear on my forehead.
It changes and shows you with an ear on your forehead.
Right, how do I
An
make it
unusual
permanent?
choice. If you wish to make these changes permanent, I can always open the way to the Temple of the Restful Lily. If you require rest or relaxation, Silvari will take care of you.
At this temple, is there anyone I can fight?
Fighting is not encouraged within the spa, but there are many exercise and workout regimes that you may participate in.
I just throw the book back on the table. I'm bored again.
Well, I mean, a workout routine is really a battle against yourself, if you think about it. Against atrophy. Aren't we all in an endless battle against decay?
What she said.
Well, Clive already defeated death, so I think he's got the decay covered.
What
Right,
if
I've
death
been
comes
there.
for him again and he's not prepared?
Oh, I'll be ready for that little Hollyphant shit when he shows up.
Well, shouldn't you work out to ensure that Kiki does not take you down once again?
All right, we should probably check this place out. It might be worth a glimpse.
I show it to Tarkhal. I'm like, my dad sent me this, and he mentioned you too. He said that he thought, as nobles, we should be keeping ourselves physically and mentally healthy, and that this would help. What do you think? And I hand it to him.
Mark, do I have any sort of relationship with Agnes's father?
I think that you've met him. You definitely, you've been brought into the family. You would have met him. You would have stayed in the house in Suzale and things like that. I think we discussed it a little bit, and I said it was up to you, the kind of relationship. And I think we talked about it's not unfriendly, but it's a little cold. You are basically the love child of his wife having an affair, but he also seems to not be that fussed about that. He's just sort of like, oh, yes, bring in the half-elf boy and we'll add him to the family and it will be good for us kind of thing. It's more like a business relationship. It's almost like, yeah, as long as you're kind of representing the family well, he's always seemed to be okay with you.
Okay, I guess
if you want to change that, if you feel that's a different relationship, by then all means.
No, I think that's a good place to start. Like, I feel like this is like the start of an actual interaction, like for me, the player and character. So I guess Tarkhal would respond like, "Oh, he mentioned me for this package, and I'll take the book and I'll look at it."
Well met, dearest one. How are you feeling today?
I have felt better.
I'm so sorry to hear that. What is wrong? If you're okay to talk about it.
Tarkhal will like look at Agnes and be like, "I'll be right back," and I'm gonna step up from the table and just walk away.
Sure.
And then just be like, I have this feeling that I experienced recently, and I just want to forget what it is.
Well, an important step is that we can't always forget things that have happened to us. Instead, we must learn to live with ourselves and our experiences. But you need time, and sometimes a place to relax and be safe, to enjoy the warm, relaxing waters, and a bit of time away from everything is what's needed. If you wish, I can open the way to the Temple of the Restful Lily. Silvari will take good care of you.
Thank you, Alexa. And I'll put the book down to my side and walk back over.
It's kind of, yeah. You've got it. You've nailed it. You found it.
Yeah, this book wants us to go to the temple for sure. I wanted to try something, but it seems whether your ailment is mental or physical.
Well, Alyssa kind of looks around. I think that if you, after you've been gone for a few days, I feel it is my duty as Blade Captain to accompany you to such a place, in case there are any dangers, of course.
I hand the book
There's no
to.
good exercises there. You and me can just spar one-on-one. How's that?
Yes, I wish to do just the exercises.
Yes.
Nothing else.
There we are.
Alyssa,
Alright.
did you miss us?
No, it is my duty as Blade Captain to watch over you, and whilst I know you are all competent, I am never comfortable when you leave the keep for long periods of time.
You know we
didn't miss
did
us?
confront the Raven Queen, right?
Yes, I am appalled that I was not there to help protect you.
She was
I won't
nice.
be letting such a thing happen again.
You didn't miss us even like a little bit, like not even like one of us in
my-
particular.
My lord and lady, of course, I miss all of you immensely. You are kind leaders, and I value your experience and wit.
Agnes looks at our wit experience.
Azara's like pointedly not looking at Agnes.
Yeah. Alyssa is pointedly not looking at Azara. There's a lot of like awkward looking around. Dusk will kind of clap his hands. Well, personally, if I may, I think that such an endeavor, a moment away from the stresses of Eveningstar and running things and your adventures, I think that such a thing sounds like a remarkably wonderful idea. I can take care of things here. There are still many matters to be resolved. We're still in the process of repairing and building new facilities here. There's not much. I think that certainly a day or two, this place of rest, that sounds like well. You must take these opportunities when they arrive.
I'm sure we'll get plenty of rest and nothing's gonna go wrong at all when we arrive.
Of course.
I offer the book to Alyssa, and I'm like, if you want to go, you can take a look at the book first.
Thank you, Lady Crownsilver. And she'll kind of awkwardly take the book. She won't look in the mirror. She kind of like, would it be all right if I perhaps borrowed the book at some point?
Sure.
Thank you. And she just kind of like flips through some of like the little articles and things like that. But yeah, she kind of folds it back up and sort of puts it towards the group as well after a little quick read.
Well, should we go check it out now?
No time like the present, I suppose. There's nothing else to do.
I hold it up. Alexa.
Hello, well met, dearest one. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling like I would like to go to the Temple of the Resting Lily.
I can open the way to the Temple of the Restful Lily if you like. Would you like me to open it now?
My echo just
I was
started
literally about to be like rip people watching on stage.
Right?
Oh.
You can't say her name. Like
No.
it's she who must not be named, because otherwise a million people across the world are like, "Ugh."
Mhm.
Alexa, subscribe me to twitch.tv/D&D right now.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh, no, mine's going off. Stop.
Well, somebody's just subscribed to twitch.tv/D&D.
Oh, the times we live in. The times we live in. Okay. Anyways, yes, please do open the way to the Temple of the Rest.
The book, the mirror goes still, and it changes. The mirror begins to show now a beautiful kind of woodland path that weaves its ways through underneath boughs and like little wildflower paths. And that mirror then begins to kind of almost project itself outwards until a shimmering oval portal is now stood or is like kind of hovering in the air next to the Starwatch Keep dining table. It seems to, this is a portal. You can see the same forested woodland trail, and the shimmering portal stands open.
Anyone?
Off we go then.
I was gonna say Zara would like look at Clyve.
Yeah. Sure. So Clyve steps through. You see him step through. Alyssa quickly is like grabbing her sword off of where she like hooked it on, and she's wearing her armor, but she just is like, and she just like decides to go with it. Yeah, you step through clyve, and you are the first one. You get that strange sensation of your body being pulled along rapidly, but it's not unpleasant. And when you arrive, it's kind of, I think that for clyve, maybe this would be quite a nice thing, but it smells of like the deep woods and wildflowers and nature and earth. All the smells of like cities and civilization kind of vanishes, and you find yourself in deep, ancient woodland. Wildflowers grow along the sides. You've got this thick canopy of trees overhead. You can hear birds and animals in the distance. And yeah, your big paws touch soft earth as this little trail. There is like a cobblestone path, I would say, actually, that seems to lead away from this place.
Oh, this is nice.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody, I'm assuming everybody will travel through.
Yeah.
And yeah, you all feel the similar sensations, and you arrive. You arrive in a lovely little glade with a little path. There are all sorts of, along the path, there are little kind of urns and vases and stone statues, all with lilies, fresh lilies sticking out of them. They seem to almost be leading a trail along the path.
Tarkhal.
Yes. Yes.
This is nice.
This is nice. This feels
This is nice.
like home.
Hey. Essel.
Oh,
Tarkhal.
I think you're muted, Anna.
Oh, I just said they're bonding.
Oh, I know the boys.
So cute.
The boys. Cool.
Yeah. Azara would kind of lean into Agnes, like getting really excited, and she's like, Do you think there's a gift shop? Do you think they sell like swimsuits or dresses or jewelry?
Wait, do you think they have like pools?
Do you think they have a spa? Do you think they have a sauna?
Oh my gosh, I love saunas. It's like water and fire.
Azara's like footsteps kind of quicken, like really excited to see the temple.
Sure. So with Azara leading the way, you follow this trail, and eventually the path is very winding, so you can never really see ahead of you because there's always thick, dense woodland. But eventually the path kind of rounds this set of thick trees, and it immediately opens up before you. And you see in front of you a majestic looking building. You can see kind of a large domed ceiling made of white stone. You can see beautiful stained glass windows all set along this beautiful, well-kept front. Beds of little wildflowers nestled beneath the windows. A large set of double doors with the symbol, the symbol of Suni, which is a kind of golden-haired, fiery-haired maiden with like an oval, perfectly oval face above the door. There's a little bell that sticks out as well that looks like it rings when the door is opened. And yeah, you can see like a big kind of domed ceiling above something at the back. And it's a very large, impressive building just in the middle of this glade, basically like a woodland retreat.
Can we just continue into the building?
Sure. Yeah. If you guys just continue, you go straight up to the doors. When you open, the double doors open to a little sound of a ding, 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 little bell, and you see that there is a large lobby. The air is heavy with the scent of fresh lilies. There is a desk in the center of the room with neatly piled papers and fresh flowers, and a long dark-haired man. It's kind of slicked back, kind of down behind him, human. In very fine clothes, stands there, a pair of silk slippers. He kind of looks up and smiles as soon as he sees you. Welcome, friends, to the Restful Lily. Welcome. My name is Seth. I do not believe we've met you before. You're not some of our regular customers. Welcome. What has brought you here today?
Amira said I was ugly.
The enchanted books. You've made your way from one of the books. Well, I'm sorry to hear that the book doesn't sound. I think something may be wrong with its enchantments, my large furry friend. You're quite an unusual fellow, aren't you? Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but if there are things that we can offer you, there are wonderful treatments, perhaps a haircut or a pedicure or perhaps a relaxing dip in one of our baths, our pools, our rejuvenating pools, perhaps a massage.
I
for
want
a
to
warrior.
see a Leonin getting a pedicure.
Oh my god. At massage, Azara kind of like steps forward and she's like, there are massages here?
Yes, we have a very fine artisan, trained masseuse and therapist. We have all sorts of specialists. The sisters who run the temple are, well, they want to make sure that everyone feels their absolute best when they arrive and when they leave. What is your name, my dear?
Oh, I am Azara Mithras, and then she kind of like looks to the rest of them.
Well, Miss Mithras, I'm humbled to welcome you here, and I hope that you will find our massages and our services to your utmost liking. We also have rooms if you do wish to stay the night, first class, finest rooms. We have food on offer, drinks, everything you need to take a moment and just relax.
Do you have a services menu with the,
Why,
with the
I certainly...
prices on it?
My good lady, and I must get your name. Of course we do. Of course we do. Let me just simply fetch my little thing here. So, in terms of prices, we have an overall charge of 5 gold per person. That covers you. That covers your use of the pools, any of the communal spaces, free enrollment in any of our workout or exercise regimes. It also provides you with a beautiful robe, hand-stitched in Neverwinter, a private changing room with a lockable trunk, and the services are yours for the day, as you see fit. We also have massages can be booked. They are 20 gold. So they normally last an hour. We also have manicures and pedicures. We have haircuts, waxings, shaves, whatever you so desire.
I look at Azara and I'm like, well, far be it from me to spend gold that could be otherwise used to help our people. However, I do, my dad says that it is important to maintain good mental and physical health in leadership.
A wise man, a wise father.
So do you feel like this might be really the best thing for the people, honestly?
And to be fair, we have come into a series of new riches from our last adventure, and we have been through such a mental and physical toll. To be in our best, yes, spend the gold. Azara's like, I'm just do it.
Agnes looks at Tarkhal before she does it, though. She's like, is Tarkhal buying this narrative?
Actually, when Tarkhal heard the word massage, he started like rubbing his shoulder. And...
He took a bit of a beating, you know.
Yeah,
running around in the dungeons and the Shadowfell. There's probably some knots in there for sure.
So when Agnes looks over, he like catches her eyes and then smiles and then looks away as if like, I'm not looking. You do what you think is. You go ahead.
Agnes has 5 gold on the counter before anyone noticed that she went into her pocket. Like, it's just there.
Oh, well, if I can take your name, my lady, I will get you a key for your trunk and a robe. You'll find it all it's all hung up in the changing rooms just behind me, that you can go there, and I'll take your name. And then if you do wish to remain with us in the evening, you just have to come and find me. If you wish to book any of our treatments, come and find me or speak to any of our other staff, and they will be able to help provide. But thank you very much. And he takes the 5 gold. That will be for you, madam. What was your name?
Agnis Crownsilver, at your service.
Agnis Crownsilver. What a lovely name. And he writes it down. You can see that he keeps like a ledger, writes it down very elegantly. And he hands you a key with the number, let's say, the number 7 on it. And he says like, changing room 7. It's just behind me, my dear. And what about the rest of you?
Anime tiptoes over like.
Azara will immediately also take out 5 gold and put it on, and she's like almost bouncing a little bit. This is like the best day of her life.
and it was Azara Mithras, yes, madam?
Yes.
Perfect. Here is key 4 for the changing rooms just behind me. Please do ensure that you return the keys once you are done for the day, whether you're staying the night. We can have your belongings transferred to a room if you wish, but just make sure you hand me the keys back. Thank you very much. He takes the gold. Alyssa kind of comes up and sheepishly like pulls a coin purse out, and she, counts out 5 gold coins and puts them down. And what was your name, my dear? It's just Alyssa, please. Yes, of course.
Oh, we forgot to pay for Alyssa. We should have paid for Alyssa's.
She's got money. She's paid for herself. She's an independent woman. She kind of notes it down. Can I store armor in the trunks. Is it large enough? Oh, yes, madam. Yes, of course. It's quite a large trunk. You should be able to fit your armor in there. The same key for the changing room locks the trunk as well. So you can simply lock it and be safe in the assurance that your belongings are safe. The keys all have like a cord, like a leather necklace around them as well. So you can just wear them around with you. And Alyssa kind of sheepishly follows and goes and finds the trunk. And gentlemen, please do not think that these services are just for the ladies. I can assure you that 2 athletic gentlemen such as yourself will find many fine services here.
Tark will look at Clyve.
What's your workout regimen look like?
Well, we have one of our owners, Mistress Azrissa. She is in charge of all of our workout routines. I will let her know, if you are interested, I can let her know that she has a new sign-up-y. And once we have enough individuals, there are several other guests, we can make sure we have put something together. She's quite the toughie, I hear. Very, very rigorous training regimes.
Radical.
Yes, Clyve.
What are you doing?
Well, I've heard. Do you guys do deep? I think they're called deep massages. Are they really...
Oh yes. Are you something of a warrior, sir? Do you engage in battles and the like?
From time to time, yes.
Ah, yes. Let me just have a look here. Our masseuse does many things individually, but yes. We do a strengthening massage, which tones and supples the muscles using various oils of fir cones and wegrad. I think that's such a thing. Or if you're looking for something that might relax the body, perhaps give you a bit more sort of agility and a bit more sort of subtlety. There is our very famous dexterity massage using winter oils, olives, and all sorts of things. I'm not a masseuse myself. I'm simply remembering what I've been told, but there's certainly something.
All right, the lad will take the dexterity one. I'll be having the other one with the strength.
Gentlemen, that's exactly what I'd love to hear. I must remind you, it is 5 gold per person for the overall access to the facilities, and then the massages are 20 gold. So that would be 25 GP each, my good
Do we pay you right now, the 25?
Yes, please. Yes, absolutely. And then I will have you booked in. The masseuse will come and collect you when they are ready.
Yes.
I don't carry money. I don't believe in it.
You know, oddly enough, I had a feeling, and he already has 50 gold.
What a lovely friend. Nothing better than a friend treating a friend to a massage, I say.
He just gives him like a huge paw on the back, like, thanks, lot.
And my understanding from your furry friend here, Tarkhal.
Tarkhal, yes.
Hey, that's Tarkhal.
Is there a surname, Mr. Tarkhal?
Crownsilver.
Oh, related to our previous guest?
Yeah, she's my sister.
Oh, wonderful. A family that massages together, stays together, I say. Writes it all down. And you, my good large friend, what is your name, sir?
Clyve.
Clyve. Fine name. Well, gentlemen, I have your names. Here are your
keys.
keys.
Wild Mane.
Oh, I will put that down. Of the Wild Mane. Here is room 1, and he offers a key to one of you, and key 19 for the changing rooms.
I will grab key 1.
Okay, there, and then he gives 19 to Clyve, and he just gestures behind him where you can see there are these like rows of little changing rooms, like little tiny booths that you unlock and can get changed in. Those of you who do go inside them, the changing rooms are, again, this is all beautifully decorated. The floor is like this polished white marble. The wooden kind of paneling is richly decorated, carved with flowers and lilies and all that kind of stuff. Hanging up on the racks, there is like 2 robes are hung up in each cabin. One for a halfling or a gnome, and then one for a medium-sized creature. Clyve, this robe is going to be pretty tight on you.
Good.
Because this is designed for like humans, so this is going to be, just about covering your decency. There is also, large wooden trunk where it could easily store a full set of armor or weapons as well. I'm
gonna keep the armor on. I'm not gonna change.
Sure. So you just put the robe on over
Lion Man in the robe is too funny. I have to. Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay,
But I want to take all my stuff with me. I don't trust it in a trunk.
Okay, so you're gonna take off all the armor, put the robe on, but not just carry it with you, like in like a bag or something.
Oh, I have my Morning Star, and then just like in the other hand, my armor that I'm just dragging behind me, like
just
scraping
dragging
across
behind
these
you.
really nice floors.
Van braces kind of just like, you know, balancing on your shoulder or something like that. I love it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and so yeah, I mean the level of comfort. I think Elissa probably like knocks on Azara's door at one point. Azara, do I leave my undergarments on or do I take them off? I don't know what I should.
Azara's like in the middle of changing, so she's like,
Yeah.
Usually it's up to the one getting the massage. It's your level of comfort, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I'm leaving them on, and then you hear her like, leave. And then she goes back. But yeah, I mean, even like, yeah, when she comes out, you were wearing these kind of, yeah, and they are spa robes, by the way. These are like, you know, comfortable little spa robes with a little belt, tied up silk slippers to go with them to walk around in and stuff like that. Yeah, when Clyve comes out, everybody's just like, it is tiny on him. Like it can't close. He can't close it. It just about gets his arms in and they're like ripping at the seams.
Mhm.
On Elissa, it's pretty tight because she's also like, you know, 6.5 feet tall and pretty muscular. So she's like constantly like tugging it down and looking around awkwardly everybody, and just looking super uncomfortable the whole time. But yeah, you guys all emerge depending on what you get up to. But if you do want to store gear, you have your rooms and your little trunks. And then Saith, the gentleman, the concierge, just points to a door. There are 2 doors on either side of this lobby in the changing rooms. One seems to lead out into a garden, and then the other one seems to lead deeper into the temple. And he gestures, "Our lounge, please go and make yourselves comfortable. We do have drinks and food on order. We do offer some drinks for free, but if you wish for something a little bit more intoxicating or a bit more exotic, there are small charges. But please enjoy the facility as you wish." And any questions, please come and let me know.
Pools? Pools.
Yes. He gestures. Once you are into the lounge, there'll be a set of double doors on the far side. Head through those. I must apologize. One thing with the pools. We are very close to the Feywild here. Sometimes water spirits like to get mischievous. We've been having problems with them. They shouldn't cause you any harm, but if the water's behaving strangely, please ignore it. Pay it no mind.
Okay.
Good
Just
to know.
little troublesome blighters, planar fey creatures, always up to some whimsy.
I don't mind some whimsy.
Well, just pay them no mind, my dear, and you will be able to enjoy them, I assure you. Still, and if you do, you may see our owners, the sisters, around. They will come and introduce themselves, I'm sure. They will be very excited to know that we have some new guests. There are some guests already here. We do ask you, you know, and I'm sure I don't need to say this to such privileged guests, we ask you not to cause any trouble. If things, if there are any sort of altercations, we will be forced to ask you to leave. Mr. Clyve, I would deeply request if you could leave your weapons and armor in the changing rooms. Is that all right? Would that be okay?
Request denied.
Well, perhaps then could I make another request? Could I ask you to at least ensure that they do not get any dirt near the other guests or some such? We can have them cleaned for you if you like.
Nah, they're good as they are. I'll be sure not to drop them anywhere sparkly.
All right. Well, thank you.
Now, where were these troublesome water fae fellas you were talking about?
Well, I mean, I will speak to the owners. There may be something there actually. Perhaps we could negotiate something, a little discount in exchange for dealing with some troublesome. But enjoy the spa first. Enjoy the temple. But something to discuss, perhaps something to discuss. Still, and he opens the doors, which leads into the lounge. The lounge is full of large cushioned chairs sat around a large open space. There is calming music, magical in some nature, that fills the air, and there's a floral scent that fills the entire space. There is a bar that takes up one corner of the room, alongside shelves of expensive wines and spirits and baskets of fresh fruit. There are also 2 tables stood along one wall, each set up for manicures and pedicure stations, with nail files, clippers, and bottles of strange ointments and colors and pigments, all arranged neatly. And you can see that there are 2 attendants just kind of sat there patiently waiting for people to come up. In fact, I would say you see that they are working. One of them is working on someone. You can see a very annoyed looking halfling woman. She's covered in scars, like you can see like warrior scars, basically, like all over her like neck and face. And she's sat there kind of looking bored with her nails on the thing, and they are being painted in I've got to look up an excellent, I want to give a shout out actually to Heroic Maps on DM's Guild, who did a brilliant additional content for my adventure. Aww. Where they added like nail designs and health drinks and cool maps and stuff like that. It's cool. Really, really good. Shout out to Heroic Maps on DM's Guild for that. But she's having, the halfling is having her nails painted. She would probably, oh yeah, she'd want this one. It's like a deep red that looks like crimson blood, and the nails at their tips are dripping like they're covered in blood. And she's kind of looking down at them like, yeah. And she's having that done, and you can see that there's somebody just very silently and quietly working on those. There appears to be a man reading, half elf, just kind of sat in one of the long chairs by a window, reading a book, just quietly sitting in a robe with a drink, just happily reading along. And then in a corner on a table is a gnome with lavender-colored cotton candy hair, kind of spiraling up the top and out the sides. And they are like working on something. They're like tinkering and twiddling with something on the table. And there's all sorts of like cogs and springs and sprockets all across the table as well. And that is the Temple of the Restful Lily, the lounge. What do you guys want to do?
Are there attendants around? Like, because what was his name? Sayeth. I liked Sethly. Sayeth said that there were attendants to like book things. Yeah,
so you can see there's the 2 working on the nail salon station. They just seem to, if you want to have those things done, you can just go and speak to them. There is somebody behind the bar, like a barman, who's just kind of like polishing glasses and getting things ready and drinks like that. And Sayeth is just behind you at the desk as well. Like, yeah, you can just go and speak to him if you want a service or a charge.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think Azara would take a quick jaunt back to Sayeth and tell Agnis that she'll meet her at the baths because she wants to go book a massage. So,
okay. Sayeth looks around. He's just like, my dear, is there something that I can help you with?
Yes, I was wondering if you have any like aromatherapy massages or something very moisturizing. And she kind of like points to her arm, and she's like, my scales, they've seemed to be getting dry.
Most certainly. Let me see here.
Some scale butter, perhaps.
Some scale butter.
Yes. It says here our masseuse Ilmar is our masseuse here. They do a wonderful oil of glittering lemon with mayweed and rose, which is perfect for scrubbing the skin, leaving it moisturized and drawing out the impurities. Such a thing would be delightful, I think, for you.
Azara will fish out 20 gold and slap it on the table.
Marvelous. I'm just going to go and speak them now as your 2 male companions booked in some massages, so that they will be first come, first serve. But
absolutely, I need time in the pools anyway, so that works.
Marvelous.
Out wonderfully.
I will let Ilmar know that you will be bathing first, and then we'll be joining later. Marvelous. Thank you, my dear. And then he makes his way into the lounge, and he heads up through a pair of double doors, and then takes a right from there and disappears. Okay, so while Azara is doing that, Agnis, do you want to head straight for these pools?
Agnis is going to look around. Is any of her party in earshot anymore? Are they all off doing their own things?
I don't know. Tarkhal, Clyve, do you guys go off and do your own things, or are you still hanging around Agnis?
I think I would have wandered, like expecting someone. The only thing that's on my mind is the massage, so I'm kind of just wandering around waiting.
Yeah,
for someone
there's
to
like
fetch
places
me.
you can sit down, and like there's like big carafes of water, lemon water. Obviously,
Is there a hot tub?
That's what the the baths are, like these
Okay.
like proper like hot spring baths that they are here. So you can just, that's where Agnis and Azara were going to go, but you could follow them.
I think I would just wait. I think I'd look for like a bar or something to get a drink.
Yeah. Well, there's the bar there. Yeah, you can easily just go up and slide up to the bar and get a drink. Yeah, for sure. Okay. What about Clyve?
Clive's not really interested in anything, so he'll probably just follow Tarkhal.
Oh, yeah, just go both sit at the bar.
Okay.
Bros at the bar. Nice. Okay. So yeah, Alyssa is kind of awkwardly looking around, but she's eyeing up the nail station, and she's kind of like trying to see what's being done, and she's like, that looks nice. So yeah, I'd say Agnis is kind of on her own.
Agnis will just kind of like sneak back out from whence they came to the person who greeted them.
Okay.
And be like, we did come through the book, and the book mentioned permanent modifications that one could make. Is
yes,
that
yes.
a service here?
Yes. Now I must, Miss Agnis, wasn't it? Yes. The book that you refer to, the one I believe green cover with a mirror on the front. In Shadowfell. Several of them were made a long time ago by the temple's previous organizer or builder, I should say. Her name was Silvari. She's sadly no longer with us. But the new Elven sisters have taken over the temple. Now, Silvari was a priestess of Suni, and so would use miracles to help people with these changes and things that they wanted to improve about themselves. The new owners, the sisters, they have magical applications, they have enchantments, all of these sorts of things. So yes, anything is possible. Would you like me to speak with them and have them come and speak with you to discuss it? Normally there is a process of discussions and estimations and things that you would like to have done.
Certainly it's most important to be happy as one is, but just out of scholarly curiosity, I would love to know more.
Of course. Yes, and also, my dear, it is a case of, I think that, is an artist ever happy with their work? Does a sculptor look at their completed work and say, I'm done? No, there's nothing wrong with wanting to make changes, to improve things, to feel better about yourself. Please, you don't need to be coy here. That's what we're all about, helping you feel like the best version of yourself. I will speak with the sisters, and I will have them come and speak with you, even just to discuss what's possible.
Thank you. I would appreciate that.
Of course, anything to help. Now I must go. A few of your companions have asked for massages, so do excuse me. Makes his way off.
Agnis will go while she's waiting. Go join Azara at the pools, and she'll kind of step up and like dip a toe in one of the the warm springs, and kind of like roll her eyes a little bit, and then she'll kind of look around, and then she'll cast Create Bonfire at the bottom of the pool. And bubble it up a little bit.
Well, so here's the thing. Before you do that, so when you and Azara enter these baths, first of all, these great big double doors. Now, I don't know if you guys will be familiar with it. I don't know if you're familiar with Roman baths. These baths are like white kind of stone with these giant kind of columns that reach up to this domed ceiling, and the whole thing is like this deep step down into baths, and it's already bubbling warm water. This isn't like a cold spring, this is like a hot spring basically. So when you step in, there's already water kind of churning and moving, and it's this wonderfully pleasant temperature. The air is filled with this kind of thick incense like mist that kind of feels cleansing and deep as you kind of breathe it in. There are these large stained windows that have all sort of nature scenes that look out behind you. And there is a large statue of Suni herself as well in the middle of the baths. Looking out, there does seem to be maybe some sort of other structure behind the temple. There's some sort of tower or some sort of other building behind it, but the stained glass kind of obscures it. But yeah, the bubbling waters kind of rise up around you, and stepping in, it feels incredible. There's something about this water that just, you touch it and it's just, the tension just drains out of you.
Even if Agnes likes it to be like scalding hot.
Okay, if you want it to be scalding hot, then yeah, you can create bonfire.
Just a little. She's just gonna a little bonfire at the bottom and just heat it up a little bit and jump right into that spot.
Absolutely, yeah, you can absolutely do that.
And her skin turns all like stingy red a little bit.
Sure. The water kind of like pulses and bubbles around you as it begins heating up.
The bonfire, she just cast it for a second, just heats. Like, she doesn't want anyone to see that she's messing with anything in the spot, but she's just.
Why would you think that, Anna? Why would you worry about that?
I mean, Agnes just doesn't want to be rude. Like, they set it at a certain temperature, and
don't worry about me rolling dice. Don't worry about that.
She likes it at a different temperature, so it was supposed to be very covert.
Yeah, that's fine. It was.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, Mica, you're muted. Sorry.
I was saying, I love when Mark's voice gets really high pitched because that's always really good for us.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, you guys make your way in, and yeah, this is amazing. It's this amazing Roman bath hot spring. It's like a kind of onsen, fantasy onsen.
Like in Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
When you described it, it reminded me of all of the Fire Emblem bathhouses, and I was like, I definitely think Azara would, probably knowing that Agnes likes water hotter, would go to the other side of the bath, like on the other end, just to be away from whatever she's going to do. And she'll take off her robe and like put it on one of the hooks or the chairs.
Yeah, there's like
lounges.
benches. Yeah, there's benches with towels and stuff set out. Yeah.
And she probably has kept her underwear on, but it's probably not much. Knowing Azara, it's probably like a tiny little breast band and like a tiny little underwear. And she'll get in the water and kind of like submerge like up to her like nose and just soak. She's like a little turtle. Just
nice. While you guys are enjoying this, the boys at the bar. So when you go up to the bar, there is just a kind of very plain looking human man who's like cleaning glasses. He kind of nods at you politely. And then he points to a menu, which is on the bar with all the drinks and food listed, and it has the gold costs on it. Doesn't speak though, just kind of like points to it and stays quiet. And if you would like to order a drink, they're all very much health drinks and health foods here. But you can get like wines and spirits, like, alcohol on choice. There's something called black lavender water, fermented lemon and parsnip smoothie, sparkling crabapple juice, rainbow layer berry crush, burdock and pennycrest tea. All listed out there and stuff like that. Or there's fire whiskey and dragon something, dragon wine.
Pretty sure I've had all of those. That sounds all like actually real.
I think that again, this is all from Heroic Maps, not from me, and I think they did base it on stuff. So
I was like, those all sound very familiar to health food junkies.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a list of like those are the prices, but it's not long after you sit down that there is a voice that calls out across the lobby, and stood at the double doors where Agnis and Azara went to the baths. You see a drow. You see a dark elf. Short, cropped white hair, kind of very closely shaved around the back, but then kept long on top and brushed to the side. Very sort of, non-binary kind of appearance. Very chiseled, high cheekbones, but kind of strong-looking jaw. They look around. Mr. Tarkhal or Clyve? I can only take one of you, I'm afraid, but I'm ready for your massage.
I'd look to Clyve and be like, do you want to go first, or?
Oh, I'm wrestle for it.
All right. And then
this sounds fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Strength checks between the two of you.
I will laugh so hard if Tarkhal wins.
No, I got a 12 total.
That would be, that is also a 12.
Oh, It's actually a bit of a stalemate. Like, you guys are feel free to narrate this. Like, is this Clyve not trying very hard and sort of just being like, I'm gonna win easy, and then Tarkhal surprising him, or is this like Clive's trying and Tarkhal's actually giving him a bit of a run for his money? Like, what's the vibe here?
I think Clyve would have assumed that there isn't much, and then there's that moment of just like more force than you expect. He's like, oh.
Yeah, so there's like a stalemate, like you're kind of wrestling. The drow folds their arms and almost taps their foot impatiently, watching this.
I rolled one more time if that's what we're doing, and then I got exactly one higher, so I got a 13.
13.
I mustered a tiny more strength.
That would be a 17.
17. Mm-hmm. So because this is an arm, right? So Clyve basically, sensing this, pushes down, and like you are losing Tarkhal. You've got one more chance. If you fail this one, you're gonna lose the arm wrestle. If you succeed, you might be able to push it back to a standoff again.
No, that's 2 less. I got an 11.
11.
Never mind. Okay. That is 15.
15. Okay, so yeah, Clyve finally you kind of wrenches your arm, not violently, but you lose Tarkhal. I assume then that Mr. Clyve will be going first.
Slams the hand. He just stands up, arms up. Clyve of the Wild Mane.
The halfling lady that's getting her nails done is just like, yeah.
Clyve of the Wild Mane.
More of that. I want more of that. And like points in your direction.
Clyve is interested in that interaction, so he goes, Tarkhal,
Clyve,
you go first.
Yes. What? You just won.
Right, but something more interesting came up. And I start walking over to the excited halfling.
Just beat me and then let me go. This is the worst. And I'll just walk off.
Are you ready for your massage, Mr. Tarkhal? Is there any areas in particular, such as your arm, that you would like me to focus on?
My shoulders. I do a lot of rolling, so.
Have them fix your butt. There's tension in there. You'd be surprised by.
Clyve! Worry about your own butt.
All right.
Well, a full body massage does include the lower areas, but your comfort is my most pressing matter. Come this way, please.
It's the IT band. There's lots of tension. You release it from your butt.
Just sort of begins leading you away from the lounge and Clyve.
Do these robes have? Do they have hoods on them?
No.
Can they have? No. Darn it.
No.
Okay.
The drow Ilmar leads you to. This is like it. He takes you down towards the baths and then hangs at a right and takes you down a short corridor and into a small room, which is a massage room. It's like a bed laid out in the middle. There's like shelves with ointments. There's faint music. It's very quiet and calming. Faint incense blowing. Now, if you wish, please lay down on the bed and make yourself comfortable. I'll leave the room if you wish to derobe, and I will return in a few moments. And Elmar steps out and lets you get comfortable, whatever Tarkhal's preference would be.
Yeah, he gets naked and throws a towel on his butt.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of get down, lie down. Elmar is just like, "Are you ready?" And then comes in when you kind of give acknowledgement.
Yep.
I have you down for a sort of agility and tension releasing massage. I'll be using oil of winter olive. With Aetolade and white sage. It's quite relaxing. And then he begins sort of like, a deep, shoulder massage beginning there. Very, very skilled. This individual clearly knows what they're doing. They don't speak much. They just kind of, but I think that there is some light conversation. You seem to have many scars and battle wounds. Are you something of a warrior, Mr. Tarkhal?
Yes. Most of those were from growing up in the woods, but in the Kingswood.
Kingswood. I'm afraid that I'm from the Sword Coast myself. Whereabouts is this Kingswood?
Cormyr.
Ah, yes, the land of the purple dragons. And you grew up in the woods. My understanding of your kingdom is that would make you of a sort of I hate to use the term peasant, but I'm struggling to think of another phrase for it. But someone of a lower caste, is that correct?
Tarkhal will kind of cut him off. when he says peasant. Yes, I grew up as a common man.
Common man. Yes, that's a much better term, isn't it? Oh, well, how interesting. Is it quite dangerous, these woods of yours?
Not if you know them well. They aren't that dangerous, but you do find yourself in, a sprig of trouble from here to there.
Yes, yes. Dangerous environments can often lead to that. Well, very good. And just sort of goes, starts focusing on the massage again and lets the conversation dither. And what brings you to the Temple of the Restful Lily is quite far away from Cormyr.
Yes, my sister, her father sent her a book that seemed like an advertisement, and he suggested that we come here.
And is your sister also a woods woman like yourself?
No, she grew up full noble in his family.
That must be an interesting family relation. Have yourself born in a different world to your sister?
Yes, I suppose, but truthfully, I don't think either of us look at each other by our origins, more so where we are when we are together.
That's something difficult for me to understand. I can assure you, life in the Underdark, familial relations are far more violent, unfortunately. But I'm pleased to hear that you have this kind of camaraderie with your sister. Hopefully I will get to meet her if she requests a massage. The whole time, this conversation is obviously quite probing, but man, this the tension is just oozing out of the muscles, and you actually feel more limber. And after about an hour of this treatment, you come out of it feeling, just much more limber and light on your feet and lithe. You for the next 24 hours, Tarkhal, you will have advantage on initiative checks and stealth checks.
Oh, cool.
So you're kind of feeling very light and ready for anything almost, as that goes on.
God, it's and like then The Sims when you get a massage and then you're more creative for a day.
Very much so.
Oh, that's cool.
To wrap things up, we will just have Clyve, as you're making your way over to the halfling, she will kind of look over and be like, yeah, come over and sit next to me, big lion guy. Yeah, come and sit here. Hey, have you had one of these before? These pedicure things?
I've not. What's it do?
Well, not much, but I would love to see those big murder mittens of yours painted up. I think they look great. I'll pay for it. I need something to entertain me. I'm so bored. I've been here for days now. Come on.
Right.
That's what I like. That's yeah. Hey, and she kind of clicks her fingers, and a woman sat opposite her who's just basically waiting for another client. She's just like, give my friend here one of these things that you do. And she slides some gold coins. She pulls them out of an embroidered kind of like pouch, and just kind of slides them over. The woman just nods silently and like nods her head, and then she gestures Clyve to there's like a choice. You can either choose dark or bright. What would you like?
Bright.
She kind of looks at you. Looks at what you might like. Let's roll a d6 to see what Clyve gets. A 6. Oh, lovely.
Ooh. Oh.
She kind of takes your giant paws and lays them on like this little bench where they're kind of hanging out, and she kind of like brushes the fur away so she can get to the claws, like these giant nails. She kind of looks at them, raises an eyebrow, looks at like her clippers and things like that, and then begins to get to work, and starts like polishing them and filing them, and then begins pulling out all these pigments and starts painting. But the halfling starts immediately talking your ear off. She's like, "So, what are you doing here, big guy? What even are you? What? I've never seen anything like you before. You're the most interesting thing I've seen in days."
Oh, it's flattering of you. My name's Clyve of the Wild Mane. I'm a Leonian.
Yeah, what an awesome name. Clyve of the Wild Mane? That's awesome.
This accent I love it so much.
I'm Cinnamon Sunfoot. Pleasure to meet you. And she kind of offers like a hand. She's kind of got like a an undercut, but it's all curly hobbit hair on top. So it's like this kind of curly fopped kind of like undercut thing going on. Cool. And she looks like she's muscular. Like she underneath like this little halfling body, she's got muscles and she's got scars. You know, her lip is almost like split in one section. It looks like one of her eyes might be fake. It looks like she's got like an artificial eye and she's got like a deep scar running down it.
You look like you've seen a fight or two.
Yeah, I've seen a fight or two. I'm a mercenary. I'm part of the Flaming Fist. You ever heard of us?
Can't say I have.
What? You've never heard of the Flaming Fist? Clyve, where have you been? Did you get to the Sword Coast much?
No, typically I'm on a different plane of existence.
What? You're the best guy ever. Oh my God. Swear to God. And then she will talk your ear off for the whole time it takes for Clyve's nails to be beautifully painted with a blush rose base with delicate elven script of an elvish love poem rendered in real gold in a minuscule scale, as it's delicately painted across his nails. And that is where we end this week's episode of Knights of Eveningstar.
Joy of joys.
Awesome.
I had a feeling that at least half of you would love this adventure.
This is the greatest.
I can just imagine like this long claw in like rose and then this gold writing just down the side that's like,
it's
and
each
love
one.
is a very splendid flower.
Yeah, it's you read this whole love poem across the nails, basically. Yeah.
Probably more room on Earth rather than a regular
it's
nail.
like the lady doing it has to like stop and like has run out of space, so she just starts doing like little gold roses in like the empty spaces because there's nothing else to put there.
Filler. Nice.
But that is where we're going to end this week. Thank you very much for joining us for this I think amazing start for season 3. Very different tonal shift, but very, very good.
You're making me miss the spa, Mark. You're making me miss it so bad.
Dude, listen, this is based entirely on my own desperate desire to go to a spa. I love massages. I love spas. Where I live in the UK, we have Bath Spa, which is a very famous Roman bath nearby. It's amazing. Fully wish fulfillment when I wrote this adventure. So I'm glad you guys had fun with it. And I promise you that if you want something a bit more action orientated, I mean, what could go wrong in a spa?
What could go wrong? Nothing.
What could go wrong?
Not like our DM was rolling dice or anything. Nothing could go wrong. No.
But yeah, well, let's do some quick shout outs and then we're going to wrap up this episode of Knights of Eveningstar.
Cool.
Who wants to go first?
You go first.
Yeah.
Well, that is unacceptable change of plans, but sure. I'm Mark Hulmes. You can check me out if you would like to see me do more DMing, which is kind of my whole thing that I do. That is, you can check me out on my D&D show, which is called High Rollers D&D, that I've been running for a very long time now. We've been doing 5 years. We're in we're year 3 of our second campaign, episode 117. It's epic, level 15. They're literally doing Star Wars in D&D. It's very epic. Come and watch that. That's on Sundays, twitch.tv/High Rollers D&D, 5 p.m. UK time, 9 a.m. Pacific. What a great way to start your Sunday. And then also just check me out on Sherlock_Hulmes on Twitter and Twitch and all that kind of good stuff. That's it from me. I'm going to tag Shady.
Hi guys, I'm ShadyPenguinn. I do a lot of streaming on twitch.tv/ShadyPenguinn Monday through Friday. I play video-based games. You can also catch me right now on Knights of Eveningstar every Tuesday. And then Thursday nights, twitch.tv/BrettUltimus. We are in the end game of the Astral Academy, it feels like. At least I think we are. We're about to fight a giant space baby, so some pretty cool stuff. And then you can follow me on Twitter. I tweet sometimes randomly, not really. I will tag Mica.
Hi, I'm Mica Burton. You can find me everywhere at Mica Burton. Everything I have coming up is NDA right now, but you can go to my other Instagram, which is at Mica Strides. I am leasing a 7-year-old thoroughbred named X-Man, and I'm doing a lot of horseback riding. So come follow my horse girl adventures. I bought him a pink saddle pad, and he looks like a regal gentleman. I'm going to tag Anna.
can attest does look like a regal gentleman. Pink is such a good color. I love wearing rose gold variants of things. Anyway, check out cantripbrand.com, and you can find me anywhere at Anna Prosser, and you can find my dog at Happy Niski. And there are some really big things coming up for me. I will say that you should look for some really awesome streaming to happen on May 29th in support of St. Jude.
Oh, you should.
Yeah, you should check that out. It's going to be pretty darn awesome. And also I will be on lots of, I don't know, I do lots of shows. You follow my social media. You'll find it. I don't know. I tag Nate.
Hello, cantripbrand.com. I'm going to second that. And also head to NateWantsToBattle.com/tour. I'm going on tour with a couple other cool music type people. We're hitting a bunch of major cities in the US only. So if you go to the site, see a city you're close to, grab a ticket, and yeah, that's about it. I tag Mark again. What else you got going on?
I mean, that makes me think that I've forgotten to mention something, and now you've triggered intense anxiety about me failing on something. So
quick, bail, cut the string,
it's over.
bail.
Leave.
We'll see you next week. Bye.